like here in Guatemala. Guatemala has one of the highest malnutrition rates in the world. In indigenous Mayan villages like this one, malnutrition can reach 80% of the population or more. It's not that children are dying of hunger, but they are starving for what they need to grow and to thrive. You see evidence of it everywhere, stunted growth. So I'm going to measure you, okay? Victoria, a grandmother, is a good example. It's 53 and a half. A normal 10-year-old is 54 and a half. Wow. It's not just genetics. We drew this line to mark the average height for 9-year-olds worldwide. But these 9-year-olds living in rural Guatemala are about half a foot shorter than the average. We did the same thing in Florida with 9-year-olds of Guatemalan descent, born and raised in the United States with access to better food. They are all normal height or taller. Luke Armstrong, who runs Casa Jackson, a center for severely malnourished infants in Antigua, Guatemala, says the problem with stunting is not just height. It is reduced mental ability and a weakened immune system that can put babies at increased risk of dying from common diseases, and the damage can be irreversible.
She's permanently going to be stunted.
And IQ is probably permanently impaired.
Yes, her IQ will be impaired.
Luke and his doctors fan out to rural villages on the hunt for babies in distress. On this day, they find 2-month-old Griselda, whose mother, Maria, tearfully agrees to let her daughter be taken away to Casa Jackson for care. Luke says they reached her in the nick of time.
But if you just even touch her legs, it kind of feels like a water balloon. You can just see her veins just popping out of there. It's because she's retaining fluid. She could be weeks away from her organs shutting down.
We went to Maria's home in the Mayan village of Cajalgualten. Maria, her husband and 6 children live on less than $1 a day. They raise beans and corn, but they don't have enough money to buy proteins like milk and meat. When Luke came here to take the baby to the center, you were crying. Were you afraid?
It made me sad that this happened to my daughter, because maybe it was my fault.
All Maria's children are stunted, and probably not just physically. Liliana is 13, but she's had to drop out of school because, her mother says, she can't remember things. Did you learn to read and write?
No.
Why not?
¿Por qué no?
Quiero aprender a leer, pero no puedo.
I want to learn, but I can't.
Studies do show a link between stunting, lower IQ,